I was pissed off that I was broke. I was pissed off my mom was coming home stressed. And I used that anger as fuel. I'm gonna prove these motherfuckers wrong. And that's why I got to where I'm at. And the reason I persist where I'm at, the reason I stay where I'm at, because I think, imagine how happy these motherfuckers would be if I lost.
This isn't your average podcast. This is The Portal, a place where time and space don't even exist. So before we get into today's episode, I want you to just leave behind your doubts, your fears, and your worries. Because today's guest is a living embodiment of what happens when you step into the portal. So I want to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Vincent Fischer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you. So, man, I want to first get into, everybody sees the cars, everybody sees the success, the physique, the money, the woman. But dude, I want you to take us back to the Vince that just lost his father and the one that was going into high school and ultimately dropped out, man. Who was he? What was he like?
Yeah, so it's funny because a lot of people tell me, Vince, what's the biggest change since you became successful? And I'm like, the biggest change was before I became successful. So if I were to take it back, growing up, dad, mom, middle class, right? Dad worked his entire life, was an engineer, built a house. Mom was a therapist. And at 50 years old, my dad lived the American dream. He's like, Vincent, I bought some land. I'm going to build a house for you. And I remember being a kid and seeing this construction site. I remember him building the entire thing. And midway through that, he got sick, right? And he's in and out of the hospital after that. The house eventually got either sold or foreclosed, and he ended up losing money. And I remember we moved into this small apartment. Now, I was always back and forth from my mom's to my dad's house. But when I was with my dad in the last moments, it was a small apartment. It was TV dinners, Dr. Pepper. And I remember one day before summer camp, I woke up and it was nothing but ambulance, right? And I saw them carrying my dad out on a stretcher. And one of them came by the bed and kneeled down and was like, hey, listen, your dad's not doing well right now. Your mom's going to come pick you up. And I was just like, what's happening, right? I had never experienced loss. I had never learned the art of detachment, that we're souls living in a body and the goal is to experience life. And after that, it was in and out of the hospital visiting my dad. And then one day my mom was like, hey, Vincent, your father passed away. And I went from a decently nice house in a nice neighborhood to taking the city bus, to mom stressing about bills, to yelling, to a lot of bullshit. And that was when I built Vincent Fischer, right? When nobody was coming to save me and I had to take accountability for my own actions, right? I'd say that was the biggest thing that broke me, but built me at the same time. I remember asking kids at school, hey, I have to take the bus, bro. We live in the same neighborhood. Can you give me a ride home? I'm not giving you a ride home. It's this, is that. Mm-hmm. And it just lit a fire of just anger inside of me. And I was like, I'm going to become somebody important. And I feel like what it did, seeing an ambitious dad who maybe didn't complete the full vision, made me realize that it was possible, right?
Yeah.
I went from high middle class to instantly lower class. And I was like, no, I'm going to get back to that point. So I set out on a journey of entrepreneurship. I'm reading all the self-development books you hear about, the Think and Grow Rich, the Science of Getting Rich. I've read hundreds of self-development books, but then I'm 16 years old. I have all this knowledge, but I'm a skinny broke loser, right? That was when I kind of found self-improvement. So the first thing I realized was I didn't want to be like my teachers. I didn't want to be like my principal. I saw the route that my brothers went down of going to school, going to college, not finding jobs. And then I heard this quote, and it said, traditional education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. And I was like, I want a fortune. And I saw these billionaires online that would go, I dropped out of college. I dropped out of high school. Now, I'm not telling the people watching this, you have to drop out to be successful. But I've always been an all-in type of guy. Mm-hmm. For me, I wasn't willing to accept mediocrity. It was like, I want everything or I want nothing. Absolutely no in between. So I dropped out. I was like, I'm not going back. It was COVID, so I closed my laptop. I got an email, Vincent, you flunked this semester. You have to come back in and visit the principal. I was like, I'm not going back. And I'm hitting the gym. I'm reading these self-development books. Around this time, I'm trying all these side hustles, the reselling, the day trading, the drop shipping, everything people tell you will make you rich online. I'm blowing accounts. I'm losing money. I'm like, why isn't this shit working? And I started accidentally just uploading my fitness transformation. I saw influencers like David Lade and big guys in fitness. And I was like, I got a decent before and after. I gained 40 pounds in a year. And then I uploaded that and I had these people asking like, yo, Vince, what's the routine? What's your diet, et cetera? And that was how I got into fitness programs, not online coaching, but like these $20 to $50 PDFs. Made my first couple thousand online, had mentors that I invested in. They taught me high ticket coaching. And I made my first multiple six figures with that. And then eventually now we're in the consulting game after people ask me how I did it.
Hell yeah, bro. That's awesome. But before we get into the present, I want to go a little bit more back, man.
Yeah.
You mentioned your principal. I want you to tell us the story about what your principal told you that one day at school.
Yeah. So I was at school. I was always the class clown. I was unwilling to listen. I didn't want to be there. I thought it was boring. So I was like, why not make this entertaining? I never used to wear my ID, right? In school, people are picky about IDs. You need your ID. You need your ID. And I remember one day I showed up to class with no ID and I got sent to the principal's office because it was like the 5th time. And the principal sits me down and he's like, you can't even put an ID on. You can't submit your homework. You're not good in class. He's like, what are you going to do after school? He's like, when you're working at Taco Bell, you're going to wish that you would have paid attention and focused and et cetera. Now, I don't know what it is, but I always had so much self-belief that even when he told me that, bro, before the life, before the supercars, before Miami, I laughed. I was just like, and I had it recorded too. I still have the voice memo to this day. But I went home and I showed my mom that because this wasn't the first time, a teacher talked shit. And my mom got enraged. She was like, no principal should be talking to a student like that and et cetera. I was like, Mom, it's cool, because I was already living the end. I already saw the vision of the next level Vince. I always say that logic is a lagging indicator of the persistence of imagination, right? So I already built the millionaire me, like I said, when I was at the bus stop, when I was getting made fun of. So that was why there was no insecurity behind that. I knew it was already done. I already knew he was proved wrong. Not even I was going to prove him wrong. And I mean, I guess looking back at that story now, was it a push? Yes. And people ask me, Vince, do you ever think about pulling up in a supercar to your high school and et cetera? And I'm just like, I'm so far past that vibration that I wouldn't even want to go there. Now, at the time I did. At the time I was like, yeah, I'm going to pull up in a Lambo to the school and et cetera. No, I really just don't care. Like, it's so beneath me that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, bro. I loved how you believed in yourself way before, like, all the results that you have today, like whatever people were saying or whatever you saw in the mirror. And that kind of rolls me into my next question, bro. You started manifestation at a very early on. And I want you to tell us the story, dude, behind your first manifestation with the peanut M&Ms and then going from the car dealerships, the penthouses, and what was your mindset through all that?
Yeah. It's funny because my first introduction to the idea of making something out of thin air, I remember my mom took me to go visit my aunt or something. And my aunt puts this movie on called The Secret. And it talks about the secret and it talks about how attention itself and consciousness actually can create the results you want in life. And it said, start with something small. It was Bob Proctor talking in the clip.
Uncle Bob.
Yeah. And it was like, start with something small. It's like, what do I have that's small? What do I want? I was like, my mom hasn't brought home like snacks in a while. My mom hasn't brought home the M&Ms. And I started imagining tasting an M&M. And I started imagining my mom coming home and being like, Vincent, there's a surprise for you. And then 30 minutes later, not even at a day I would expect her to go grocery shopping or any of this, she's like, Vincent, I brought home peanut M&Ms. You're going to love this. Come get the groceries. I was like, what the hell? And I'm tasting this M&M and it felt like deja vu. It felt like I had already done this in my mind. And that's when I went crazy with it. I was like, I'm going to the Rolls Royce dealership now. I'm looking at all the nicest spots. In Arizona, there's these houses that are mountainside. And I'm going to these $7 million mansions. I had my mom's beat up van at the time, and I'd pull up to these places, and they go, kid, like, where are your parents? I was like, nah, I'm here to buy this. Like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I just like to lay low. I keep a van and et cetera. I don't like the attention of supercars. I was capping my ass off.
Didn't you have a fake bank statements and shit like that?
Yeah. I literally, I'd go on iPhone notes and I'd literally draw white over the name. And I'd put my name. I'd send it to them. They'd be like, yeah, I mean, it looks good. But, one side of it, you could say I was faking it till I made it. But I genuinely hypnotized myself to believe that was me. And this is the big misconception people have around the idea of the law of attraction and manifestation. A lot of people are focused on just the thing. Somebody goes, man, I want a Lambo, and they focus on just the Lambo. They're like, Lamborghini, 200 miles an hour, butterfly doors. But the real way to actually put the law of attraction into effect is to think about being the man who has the Lambo. That was what I did. I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, a car like this, it's just something I drive. Even with the Rolls Royce, I was like, yeah, a car like this, a motherfucker like me would drive that. And at first, it did start out with misalignment, as usual. That's why we have things like affirmations. That's why you constantly repeat that you are that person. But I believe that anybody can change their self-image and as a byproduct, change their results because I did it. I hypnotized myself to be a millionaire at the bus stop. Yeah. I had this audio and it would go, I am rich. I am wealthy. I love being rich. I love being wealthy. And then I remember it worked because after like 30 days of doing this, I was talking with my friend at the time who was staying with me because his parents were on drugs, et cetera. We're in these bunk beds. And I was like, yeah, the thing about rich people like us is, and then I was like, wait, why did I just say like us?
Wow.
I was like, something's got to be fucking working. So I went even deeper. I'm listening to more affirmations. I'm making it a habit. And then eventually I didn't see success as outside of my reach. Like a lot of people try to attack success with the logical format of like, what do I need to do? The how, the method. But the real method first is believing that you're the man that deserves all the things. Because if you don't hold the self-image in your mind, everything will go wrong. If you don't have the results you want in your life right now, you have to think about how you view yourself. Yeah. Because a lot of people choose these identities that don't serve them. A lot of people choose to be the guy that's a drug addict or an ex-drug addict, and they're going to perform like that. A lot of people choose to be the guy that's struggling and the guy that can't catch a break, and that's all reality shows them. I chose to be the millionaire who everything goes his way and solves problems. And as soon as I made that shift, the results shifted. Everything's internal, and then it's reflected externally. And honestly, to some degree, we're all interconnected, right? Like yes. I'm obviously a figure online that'll get a lot of hate. A lot of people be like, man, fuck this guy who's this alpha male motherfucker. And when I get offended by that, I go, why am I getting offended by that? That's just me reflected back to myself. That's just my insecurity made visible. And I don't fight the external, I shift the self-image. And every single time I do that, there may still be negative people, there may still be videos, but they leave my reality, right? I have this one quote that I keep as a screensaver, and it says, others are simply playing the role you've assigned them in your reality. Now, one thing that people get misunderstood, right? Because what's the difference between Christianity and law of attraction? Or what's the difference between prayer and manifestation? The truth is, they're the same exact thing with different wording, right? When you pray to God for the next level in life, a lot of people beg and they think that's prayer. But the real way to pray is to be grateful for the things you don't even have yet. I went, God, I'm so grateful and happy that you've given me this amazing life, that you'd allowed me to take care of my mom, my girlfriend, that you've given me, healthy pockets. And the more I sit in that feeling of gratitude for what I don't even have yet, the more it becomes reality. Is that any different than the law of attraction? Is that any different than believing that you're the man that has it all? I don't think so, right? So I think that God tells us, and even Jesus told us, no matter what religion you are, the way to the Father is through me, right? And it's kind of like, if you were to dissect it, I've dissected deeply these spiritual principles in religion and what makes them different. God said, I am, right? Jesus is obviously the human form of God, right? And he came down and showed people what he could do with his I am and the persistence of his imagination and belief in the Father. But the disconnect that people have is that Jesus came down. How I was raised was that you can't be like Jesus. Don't compare yourself to Jesus at all. That's shameful, bad, etc. Now, we're humans and we sin, but everybody to some degree can use the same powers that were taught to us by these prophets and have an impact on the world. And that was the big game changer for me, where I started getting everything I wanted as long as I served God, as long as I served my self-image and the I am.
I love that, man. I believe it's Mark 11:24. Jesus says, ask and believe that you've already received and it will be yours. So, and then of course, faith of a mustard seed. Yeah. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And you're a living example of that, dude. And that's exactly why I wanted to bring you on, because for the viewers watching, the power of faith and belief, it's literally not of this world. And Vincent is a prime example of what happens when you implement these spiritual laws in place. And that's what this podcast is about, man. And I love that for you. It's incredible. I want to go into, let's see. You took a turn I was not expecting, which is good.
If you want me to, I could even piggyback off of what I was saying.
No, it's all good, bro. Actually, go for it, bro, because I don't know if you realize, bro, we went like down a very spiritual aspect of things, and I was not expecting it to get that deep. Which is this is perfect because it's the stuff like this that's unplanned. So I'm just gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go based off of feeling and spirit right now and heart, because that's what the core of this podcast is. And dude, that's why I say that this podcast there's no time and space, because before the noise and chaos of the world, there was just consciousness, spirit, Christ-like spirit. And so whenever we can connect a source, that's where creation is formed. We become the observer of our own reality. And that's the moment that we're in right now. So, Vince, I want to go into it. You vibrationally aligned to everything that you have today. And you mentioned the power of gratitude and how you were thankful before you even received it. And I want you to just go deeper into that. Like, what were those times like whenever you were thinking about, retiring your mother, having that Russian model of a girlfriend, and the supercars, the lifestyle, the Miami lifestyle?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I were to pinpoint it to one thing, it was a lot of self-belief. I made these big, bold claims and promises to my mom at first, and I wasn't going to lie, right? And most importantly, even before my mom, I wasn't going to lie to myself, right? So a lot of people have this idea of don't say your goals, keep it to yourself. I don't believe in that at all. I believe you should say your goals, because then you've made the contract as a man. Now you've put your word on the line, and you're held to that contract, and you have to meet your word, right? Like, a lot of people don't say it because they're afraid they're not going to do it. I said it. I was like, Mom, by the time you have this $4,000 pension after 5 years, I'm going to be rich. She's like, well, Vincent, I mean, that'd be amazing. I was like, what? He has a Rolls Royce? Yeah, it's going to be our car. I'd be like, okay, that dude, he's in the mansion on the mountainside. Damn, yeah, that's me. And maybe I didn't even fully believe these things at the time that I said them, but I repeated it enough to where I did believe it. Now, I wasn't born with a strong mindset from birth, but I studied winners. And I noticed, why are all of them so confident? I drew this conclusion because I was always a thinker and a philosopher. I'm in my mom's extra room, skinny as shit, playing Fortnite and video games, watching reels. I was like, I don't think I've ever met a winner in any field that's not confident in their ability to do the thing that they do. Floyd Mayweather's confident as shit that he's going to fuck whoever's up in the other corner, right? LeBron James is confident as hell that he's, one of the best basketball players. Conor McGregor's confident as hell. If you put him in the MMA cage, it's a threat for the other guy. And I tried to find some example of somebody who wasn't confident at a thing they were wildly good at. Warren Buffett believes he's a great investor. And then I went, what if the belief creates the result? That was the game changer for me. And I realized all this time I had been walking with zero faith. I put the reps in. I used to play basketball. I played sports, but I wasn't good at any of the things. I knew I put more time in than anybody I was against. I knew I was on the court fucking 5 hours a day in Arizona heat, but when I showed up to the games, I'm missing shots. I'm fluking games. And I'm like, why is this? It's because even though the other team put in less work than me, put in less reps, they just believed. Yeah. They just believed like, I'm good. And I folded under that pressure. So the big shift for me of going from a loser to an absolute winner at life was putting faith and belief first. And sometimes it's bigger than you, right? That's why I like the idea of a higher power and a God, because sometimes you don't even fully believe and the universe tells you to believe. It shows you through coincidences. But I think the secret to anybody winning is you have to have absolute faith and belief. And without it, I mean, what are we as humans, right? Like, if you have just logic, bro, that's a fucking rough ride because we don't know everything, right? Like God is all knowing, right? There's universal wisdom. And when you have faith, you have access to that universal wisdom. It's kind of like you ever set a goal and like all the steps to actually achieve that goal just line up and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't even know how this came there. How did I meet this person? It's because you made the assumption and now reality aligns with that assumption. But a lot of people never make the belief, they never make the assumption, and they wonder why life never goes their way. But that within itself is an affirmation and assumption.
I love that you said that, bro, because we're on the topic of power or faith and belief. And neurologically, whenever you're having that type of belief in your brain, bro, the chemicals, the reticular activated system, these opportunities that you would have been missing if you weren't actively believing and looking for them, they'd slip by. And that's why people work hard or harder or hustle a lot more, but they don't get the results that they want. But as soon as they put that faith and belief into whatever it is, wherever they're trying to go, whatever they're trying to achieve, just like you said, things just start aligning. It feels like, oh, this came out of nowhere. Like I wasn't expecting this, but in all reality, it was right there the whole fucking time. And all they had to do was lock in on that image. Because as Bob Proctor said, if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And so each step aligned to that. So man, I would love for you to go into that journey because obviously you said you met mentors and people that got you to where you are today. And I would love for you to get into the importance of not only that importance, but the synchronicities and the importance of having mentorship and all that.
Yeah, I'll tell you some synchronicities. Around the time my dad passed away before that, he bought this new Chevy Tahoe. He's like, Vince, this is the Transformer, right? This is the new car. He was like, Vince, one day we're going to get a Rolls Royce. I was like, what the hell is a Rolls Royce? I remember like as a kid, I was looking it up and I was like, this shit looks like a normal car. Why would I pay $250,000?
You were like 8 years old, huh?
Yeah, I was like eight around there. Yeah. And I was like, why would my dad spend $250,000 or save up $250,000 to buy a normal looking car? But I realized it was about the abundance of it itself. So like all of my mentors for some reason happened to have Rolls Royces or happened to be driven in Rolls Royces, something along those lines. Now I remember I was playing Fortnite, right? I'm a normal kid. Before hitting the gym, I'm playing video games and I had this one dude join in a lobby, Fortnite lobby, they match you up with random people. And this dude was like a day trader, 27 years old. He used to smoke weed and play video games, but he made millions of dollars from day trading. And he drove a Rolls Royce. And I knew, I was like, yo, I got to win this motherfucker some games so I can keep asking him questions. I was like, yo, Ty, how'd you do this? Yo, Ty, how'd you do that? And he was like, yo, Vince, why not come out to LA? This was like after 6 months of playing the game with him. And he took me around the city in his Rolls Royce. This was my first mentor. And I remember asking him, bro, what books do you read? What do you do? What do you do? This, that. Like most people aren't curious. I was so curious. And I was like, damn. And I read every single book he told me to read, followed his blueprint and guidelines, sucked at day trading. But the best thing I got from it was the mental aspect, where I was like, damn, okay, there's a mindset behind this success thing. He showed me Grant Cardone. He's like, bro, there's one real estate dude. I want you to start watching him. His name's Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone was next to a Rolls Royce. He was like, don't buy this car. It's stupid. I was like, but you have the car. You know what I mean? I'm watching his stuff now. I'm learning money secrets and et cetera. And I told Ty when I was like 17, I was like, yo, Ty, bro, why don't we both go to Miami and go to his event? We went to this event. We're in this packed ass room. It's me and him in the back. We showed up late, so we didn't get seats. But we saw this packed room where everybody paid $2K. As the seats got closer, they paid $5K. The front row seats, people paid $20, $25K. And throughout this entire event, I'm watching people walk up to him and hand him $500,000 checks to invest with them.
Whoa.
I go to use the restroom. I'm being pitched on a $20K product. I'm like, yo, I'm 17, I'm broke. Right? But I'm seeing this masterclass of marketing in front of me. I'm seeing all these people give this guy money. I saw Grant bring out his private money lender. And he's like, yeah, we've done 200 billion. And I'm hearing these numbers. And I'm like, wait, what the hell? 200 billion? What the hell? And it was just the exposure of it all. Like I couldn't go home the same. That was my introduction to the online info game and marketing.
The law of exposure.
And we did the math. We're like, did he just make like fucking 5-6 million in like fucking 2 days? Is that what we just added up? That's what we saw. We didn't see the people getting pitched on the way to the bathroom, except. And I was like, what the fuck? My day trading mentor was against courses. He was like, yo, Vince, I got to make a book. I got to make something info now. I was like, yo, what the fuck do I have? What skill set do I have? I wasn't in the gym yet, so obviously it took me time to find that. But bro, it's just after that, I started investing in the mentors though. Right? Like I remember I was selling fitness programs. I saw an ad pop up. Hey, listen, if you want to sell high ticket with coaching, I was like, oh shit, let me
I
check
know
this
exactly
out.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I remember at the time I'd never been down a sales funnel. I was like, yo, I get a strategy call. What the fuck? You know, I'm gonna learn a bunch of shit. I show up to the call, they screen me. I was like, damn, the price of the program's 8K. That's crazy. I have 8K saved. I didn't know I was screened, set, closed, but I paid this 8K. And I remember joining the group, and then 20 people a week were joining. And I multiplied 20 by 8,000. I was like, how much is this motherfucker making, bro? And my mom was telling me the internet thing's a scam and it's all fake money. And we're in Arizona in like a lower middle class house, struggling to pay our bills, coupons at the grocery store. She's like, all that stuff's fake, Vincent. And I was like, no, I saw it. I was like, it's not fucking fake. I saw it firsthand. And I just had more conviction than my mom did. And that's how you become the black sheep. I was like, no matter how much my mom would tell me, no matter how much my broke friends would tell me that this online thing was a scam and et cetera, like I had already seen too much. And before you know it, I came back home and I started like selling fitness PDFs. And I'm like, Mom, I made 5K the last 6 months, 5K a month. She's like, yeah, Vincent, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully it works out. I was like, nah, I got to make more now to prove her wrong in a good way. Then it's 10K a month. Then before you know it, I'm calling my mom, it's 50K a month. Then it's 100 and she's retired. Like, and my mom started believing in me after I showed her results. A lot of people are looking for that belief in your friends and your family before you show them anything. But if they haven't seen it, it's not that they don't believe in you. It's that they don't believe in the idea within itself, right? So like my mom started believing in me when I started sending her money. As bad as that sounds, my mom started believing in me.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, she didn't have to work. But yeah, if you want to be the black sheep, you have to have more conviction than the people before you and your family that there is another way. And as soon as you show them that, their belief and their conviction changes. That's how you change a family paradigm, bro.
Of course. I love that you mentioned, because you were surrounded by your family and your broke friends, I guess you would say. Man, I'd love for you to go into the importance of who you surround yourself with, because obviously you had to separate yourself from them at some point to become the man that you are today. And I'd love for you to get into that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm human enough to know and believe. I'm ignorant enough to know and believe that as smart as I think I am, as capable as I think I am, if I spend time around the wrong energy, then those abilities are going to disappear. I knew if I spent enough time back in Arizona in my mom's extra room and was like, hey, listen, maybe I don't need the Rolls Royce. And how long is it before I go, oh, maybe it was just a lucky run and maybe the social media thing. Yeah, it was good then. No, but I choose to surround myself with people that are significantly outperforming me no matter what age they are. I don't care if somebody's like 40 or 50. I don't go, he's 40 or 50, that's why he's successful. I go, he's outperforming me. What do I need to do to get on his level? What do I need to do to get around this person? And that's why I moved to Miami in the first place, bro. Optimistic, driven energy. And people believe here. And that's the biggest thing. You notice it's always the people outside of Miami that maybe visited for a month, 2 months before they couldn't afford it. Now they're hating from the sidelines. And the people in Miami are just doing them, right? Serving people, making a lot of money. It's because in Miami, it's really a positive and winning energy. But what they don't tell you is it's also highest difficulty.
Yeah.
When I was in Arizona, a dinner for 4 was like $100, bro. When you come to Miami, a dinner for just me and my girl is like $400 to $600. So it's a whole different cap on the access you have, the spending power that you have. And there's 2 ways to look at that. You go, oh, it's overpriced. There's fake people there and this and that. Or you could go, damn, this shit's overpriced. So I'm going to raise my fucking prices too. And I'm going to exist in this ecosystem. That was what I did. But it comes down to the core root that as humans, we're just bodies of energy.
Yeah.
And if you spend time around people that bring the worst side out of you, around pessimistic people, I give the fruit analogy. If you took rotten fruit and you put it next to perfectly good fruit, eventually the mold is going to grow on the perfectly fresh fruit, right? Just because of proximity. Now, on the flip side, if you're around people that believe more in you, that are winning more than you, and you're around them long enough, you start to adopt their assumption and their reality. Yeah. But a lot of the time it's, I've thought that it was a battle of whoever has the most conviction, but I don't think that was the case. I've had some times where I thought my conviction strongly outweighed somebody else's. But if they were too pessimistic and I hung around them too long, then my results started to diminish too. So yeah, I'm always super careful about who I hang around. This is my mental model of proximity and who you should be hanging around. You should either be hanging around somebody that's levels ahead of you. You should be hanging around people that are on the same level as you, your peers, or you should be hanging around people that are beneath you but willing to learn.
Yeah.
Willing to learn is the key word. Because if you're hanging around people that are beneath you and unwilling to learn and going, yeah, bro, it's a scam, this thing, this, that, you're going to adopt their assumptions and their reality. And if you don't like that reality, then that's a tough bet. You know what I mean?
For sure, bro. Actually, I did the same thing myself. It's a common trend. It's like the hero's journey a little bit. In order to become the hero that they are today, they had to leave the comfort of their home. And unfortunately, my friends and family, they weren't going to get me to the next level. So I literally had to get myself out of there, move to San Diego, California, where I'm in a bigger network where there's sharks. You know what I'm saying? I was the biggest fish in my pond at the time. And now I'm surrounded by individuals like Bedros Keuilian and whatnot, and just surrounding myself with sharks. And I wouldn't say that's a common trend. So I'd love to know, like, what type of sharks that are you hanging around nowadays?
Yeah, I got a few new friends that some of them have exited like $100 million companies, guys that are 27. I got a few friends that have 70 M's liquid in like a stock portfolio. I got some friends that are not far past my level, multiple supercars as well, similar to my age. I like to hang around young killers. Now, the thing that I've noticed is if I do hang around somebody who's far older than me, they're just at a different stage. So like the stage I'm at with my young friends in our 20s, like we're in the building phase.
Yeah.
If I go hang around like, Andy Elliott, as much as I love him, he's kind of like, me and my girl, we watch movies and we relax. I take a week off at some time, but that's not what built him, right? That's a different stage in his life. So I like to hang around people that are in the same stage as me and outperforming me in that stage. I have some friends that are 27, like I said, that have exited $100 million companies, and they're like, Vince, I'm going to give you a new perspective, bro. Because you're killing it with coaching and you're building, but I'm also 5 years ahead of you. I know it's not long, but like I built equity too. I didn't just build cash flow. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, that's a good perspective. I got other friends, 70 M's, that are like, Vince, let me give you another perspective too. You spend a lot of money on lifestyle, cars, et cetera. He's like, there is some importance to investing.
Of course.
But these people had to show me this. You're not going to fucking tell me, oh, invest, and then you got like no money. Bro, these motherfuckers were like, yo, Vince, off camera, bro. Look, is that fucking 70 million, bro? Like, is that 70 M's right there? He's like, Vince, bro, I'm 29, you're fucking 22. He's like, bro, like, put some aside. I got connections, I have analysts, et cetera. I'm like, all right, bro, bet. Yo, where do I put the damn money? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's good to hang around people that are outperforming you, right? And then like, people don't get this, but you learn through teaching as well. That's why I love coaching. I learned so much teaching guys like Flynn, one of my younger guys in the group, making like 100K at 17. But when I teach him things or tell him things, I reaffirm my own beliefs. I go, oh, this is where you're at, bro. You need to do this, do that, do this. And that's what every real teacher and real coach knows, is that the beauty in teaching is you learn and you reaffirm your own beliefs, bro.
Yeah. I love that. You mentioned Andy Elliott, man. His type of, obviously he's one of the most successful salesmen out there. I love how obsessed he is, dude. And
Yeah.
for your personal journey, I would love to know, like, how obsessed were you on your come up, bro? Like, because I feel like you're skipping over the parts where you were just grinding, like the dark, lonely nights whenever doubt was trying to creep in and you weren't seeing the results, bro. Like, what got you through those nights?
I mean, the nights never left, bro. I mean, even now, there's struggles, there's challenges, and those struggles and challenges are 10 times the amount of what they were before. I'd say I'm hungrier now because I have to be. I have to be more obsessed now. We said this off camera, but for the last week straight, I've literally been at my laptop sun up until sundown. And if I do leave the house, it's to do a podcast. I've had times I've even gone into the gym and I'm like, I can't do it. I got too much business shit to work on. I do a few reps and I'm like, this isn't the action that's going to get me the most efficient result. So this is the mental model for everybody out there watching this that's maybe being overtaken by doubts, by fears, by discomfort, the what ifs. You have to outwork your doubts. I always say there's two reasons why somebody isn't successful. They're taking delayed action, and in those periods of delay and in those periods of procrastination, the devil lives. I don't even have time to fucking question whether or not it's going to work. I got my mom's bills, I got my bills, I got my girl's bills, I got shit to do, I got people that look up to me. I'm working too hard. So delayed action is one thing, and that's one reason most people aren't successful. And then another thing is inefficient action, right? A lot of people work hard and they come home at the end of the day beat up. Like, where's this hard work going, and et cetera. I'm a big believer, if you're not getting the result you want in life, that is a sign that something's wrong. Like, a lot of people have this mentality of, it's a journey, bro, it's a process, but they confuse that, right? Because for coaching, for example, if I were to tell you, okay, bro, the first month might be a little bit rough, you're setting up, you're learning the guidelines, then after that, you should be making money. It's the same thing with any other business, right? If you're doing something for months on end and getting no results, that doesn't mean you should keep doing what you're doing. That means you should adapt and make changes, right? So delayed action or inefficient action. I've always taken action the moment I thought of things. I'm very quick to implement as soon as I think of something, and I'm efficient as well. And I go, okay, what's the most efficient way to do this? What's the way that I'm going to do this that's going to get me the best result? Because if I have a coaching business, for example, and my real problem is lead flow, but I'm working on closing percentage, then that's not the bottleneck of the business. The bottleneck of the business is, maybe I have a decent closing percentage, let me get more people. But a lot of people focus on the wrong things. They work hard on the wrong things. They work at a 9 to 5 their entire lives and haven't sat back and thought, okay, where's this going to get me? I make this much a week, this much a month, much a year. What's my planning to actually become a millionaire if that's my goal? And that's how I think. And the beauty of setting extremely large goals is because how you're going to get to 100,000 isn't how you're going to get to 1 million. How you're going to get to 10 million isn't how you're going to get to 1 million, right? It's the same exact thing. So like, the biggest regret I feel like I even have, maybe even now, I guarantee I could probably be a little bit richer than I am now if I set bigger goals. I'll give you a practical example. If I told you you had to make 100,000 before the year ends, or your family's gonna die, probably go, okay, let me get like a fucking high-paying job, sales job, this job, that job. Now, if I told you had to make $1 million before the year ends or your family dies, now you're thinking, I gotta start a business, bro. Yo, what business with cash flow am I gonna start that's gonna get me that $1 million? But if I told you had to make 10 million a year, your whole family dies, now you're like, fuck, okay, I need serious cash flow and I might need some type of equity. And that gives you the practical analogy of how different heights take different, they require different actions. Like, my goal now is literally 100 million. Now, some people go, Vince, you're crazy. You've only made around 10 million online. You're not gonna make 100 million. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make 100 million because I analyze and I go, okay, what are the kids doing that do make 100 million? Equity. Software as a service has good multiples. Let me dump all my eggs into software as a service. Let me focus on making the next trainer rise. I'm going to amplify that. I'm going to promote that. And that's going to be my moonshot. It's not going to be coaching though, right? Because I mean, yeah, I know I could get coaching to 5-10 million a month, but that's like that's the ceiling of what I'm going to get it to.
Yeah.
And that might take me 2-3 years. But with software, if we're talking 100 million M's liquid, which is the goal, that's going to take an exit. So it's different actions that are required. Does that make sense?
Of course. Yeah. Something I want to point out, dude. I love your hypothetical situations and scenarios because sometimes that's what it takes, dude. Putting your back up against the wall, fucking burning all the boats. Because that's exactly what I did, dude. I actually, back in 2024, I was fresh out the military, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna full send this personal branding, this coaching business, and that's actually how I got into your ecosystem. When I first got out, I was like, oh, who's this guy freaking killing it on the coaching business? Let me learn from this guy, because as you told everyone, your mentorships, learn from someone who's doing better than you, this and that. So I'm like, all right, I gotta see what this guy's doing. Longer story short, it wasn't working out for me. I wasn't seeing any results. So out of fear, because in the month of December of 2024, I was broke. I was like, fuck, like all my savings was just gone because I had bills and stuff like that. Yeah. And it got to a point, bro, where my mom, who was already struggling, had to help me pay for my bills for that month. And that shit broke me, dude. I was like, there's no way. She already did her job by raising me and helping me and, growing up. Yeah. And I want to be the one to retire her. I want to be the one to pay her bills. And so that just struck something deep inside of me. So far to the point, bro, where I'm like, all right, well, what's plan B? My original plan before I decided to go into the coaching business, growing up, I always wanted to be like a SWAT operator, like a police officer type of thing. So I'm like, all right, well, let me see who's hiring in the area for the police academy. Went to the police academy in March, dude, and longer story short, I got fired 8 weeks in. I showed up late one day and they let me go off on the spot, dude. And I was like, shit, I was making 72 a year starting salary. And I'm like, what am I gonna do now? Like that was the best thing I had going for me for a minute. So I'm just like, fuck. So at this point, I'm like, all right, it's either because I refuse to go back to a 9 to 5. I fucking refuse. I'd rather die, just like you said. I'd rather fucking die. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go all in on my coaching business. I'm gonna go all in on my personal branding. I'm gonna go all in on my podcast. And that's exactly what I did, dude. And it hasn't been easy, but I'm still fucking showing up every single day. And like I said, my back is against the wall. It's this or nothing, bro. It's this or nothing. And that's what it takes to take the required action to get to where you want to go. Because I feel like too many people, they get too comfortable. Comfort kills, bro. They're not gonna, if they're too comfortable, they're not gonna take that next, like you said, 100 million. Let's say, because I'm sure, let's say 15 million for you in 1 month or whatever. Yeah, it may be a little challenging, but that's like, oh, I can do that easy. But that goal that you set, 100 million, oh shit. Now I actually got to like put in that type of work.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, bro, what I love about this the most is whether you know it or not, you're quantum leaping into the Vincent Fischer that accumulates $100 million a month. And that automatically, just like what we were going into earlier, that sets up the brain for those opportunities and the path and the synchronicities to take that action necessary to get to where they want to go. So I just wanted to point that out, man.
Oh yeah, bro. Yo, we got to get a flip, bro, because my man said he joined and didn't get a result. You're killing it now, right?
Oh.
But you got to give him a good win, bro.
I appreciate it.
Like, yo, this shit doesn't work.
Oh, no. So, no, I definitely, I have clients myself. And I mean, I don't really do just the workout programs. So I call it Operation Transformation. So it's a 3-month program, which, I mean, I have the workout program to help my clients get to their desired body, nutrition program, if they're willing to do it. I have a couple clients that don't like to track their macros. I mean, I tell them the dream body's made in the kitchen at the end of the day. You can't outwork a bad diet. So then on top of that, I have like 2 weekly coaching calls, like about an hour long each. And then I give them affirmations. I tell them to listen to subliminals overnight because like what you were talking about, what you listen to repeatedly, it seeps into the subconscious mind. And then your identity automatically reflects that because, bro, the universe doesn't care what you want. It cares about who you are. So you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much teach them those types of things. So that's why, like, I'm in your community, but like I got my own thing going a little bit, but I'm still learning. I mean, I'm still learning all this stuff, man. And I'm not where I want to be, but I'm still getting results. You feel me?
Yeah. No, I'll give you some wisdom too. But boys, disclaimer, yo, he's killing it now. But all jokes aside, the reason you haven't gotten to where you want because right now you're consciously assuming that you're not the man that's there. I will be as an affirmation that I'm not. Right? If I were to sit here with all my success, cars, life, and I were to go, I'm going to be the guy that retires my mom. I'm going to be the guy that has a Lambo one day. You'd be like, yo, Vince, you're crazy, bro. You are. Right? Because that's the persistence of my imagination and assumption. So that's the biggest thing. When you set a goal, on an outside scale, you might say, I will be. But in your mind, it has to be, I am. Yeah. When I made videos at 17 years old saying, I'm going to be a millionaire, the only reason I didn't say I am a millionaire is because people go, no, you're not. It's to quit being delusional, et cetera. But that's how real law of attraction and manifestation works. You have to assume the identity first, take action from that assumption of who you are, and then the result comes. But if you haven't first assumed the identity, if I never went, oh yeah, I'm the guy, I'm a millionaire right now, right? All the cars, I already have them right now. If I never did that first, if I never walked into the dealership, practiced success, felt like the guy that deserved it, I wouldn't have it, right? So like, they say with great power comes great responsibility. I always say it's flipped. Great responsibility creates great power. So when I retired my mom, before that, I didn't take on the responsibility yet. I was kind of like, I'm fucking 17, 18. It's not normal to retire your mom. But as soon as I did take the responsibility, even when I was incapable of the action at the time, the action showed up. I went, yeah, I'm the guy that takes care of my family. I take care of my mom, my girl. Now, surface level, somebody might be like, no, Vince, no, you're not. But in my head, I was. And then every single step to be able to do it arised from the new identity, the new state. So that's the biggest shift. Never say, I'm going to, I'm trying, I will be. around people like me or somebody else who's successful, because that's an affirmation that I'm not. That's the biggest game.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for holding me accountable.
Hell yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Bro.
So something else I want to get into, bro. For the individuals watching and listening, especially the men, what's something that you want to say to them that, you know, if they're on their come up or they're stuck in their 9 to 5, bro, they don't see a way out. They have no hope, no desire, no dream. They feel like they're fucking losing all the time. What's something that you can say to them that'll spark that fire underneath them? Because you're the best at being controversial, but you're the best at firing sparks underneath people's asses, man. So I'd love for you to just throw something out there to possibly get them, like, right after this podcast, they're on to the next thing to achieve those types of goals and visions that they have.
Yeah, I'd say, like, if you want me to get like amped up, no, the biggest the biggest reason most guys aren't successful is because they don't take anything personal enough, right? They don't grab their balls and go, I hate my life right now. I hate where I'm at. I deserve more. A lot of guys, if you get sad and you don't get angry when you're in a spot you hate, that's natural selection. You're meant to lose. But if you get pissed off, I was pissed off. Like, I was pissed off that I was broke. I was pissed off my mom was coming home stressed. I was pissed off I didn't have the attention that I wanted. And I use that anger as fuel. But if you don't have that anger and that life force, like, I can't relate to you. But I think every man does to some degree, but you have to find it, right? Like, a lot of guys, a girl will leave them or some bullshit. And maybe she wasn't the right one, bro. They'll lose their job. They'll be like, my boss fired me. Why aren't you getting pissed? Why aren't you getting pissed at your boss, pissed at yourself, pissed at the girl, and going, nah, I'm going to prove these motherfuckers wrong? That's the biggest thing that I did, and that's why I got to where I'm at. And the reason I persist where I'm at, the reason I stay where I'm at, because I think, imagine how happy these motherfuckers would be if I lost. That's what drives me too. So people go, well, Vince, you know, now you're not in a journey of proving people wrong. I am. I still am, because people want to see me lose, right? So you have to find out what ticks you. What ticked me was being fucking average. I said it before. Like, a lot of people, I tried to do the normal shit, bro. The parties, the fucking clubs. Vince, come here, come there. But I mean, he said, enjoy your life, bro. Have a drink. I don't enjoy being fucking average. I just don't. I enjoy winning. I enjoy conquering. I don't even enjoy celebration. I don't enjoy when I unwrap a car. I don't enjoy when I look at $790,000 on the month. I enjoy the struggle, the grind, the journey, and what it takes to get there, and who I become in that process. That's what people get misunderstood. They go, oh, he's obsessed with money. He's obsessed with this and that. The life force of a man is conquering at whatever you do. If you're an author, you want to write a better book. If you're a barber, you want to cut the next head better than you did the last one, right? If you're in business, yeah, I want to make more fucking money, not for the purpose of money, but for the purpose of growth and expansion. When God created man, he said, multiply, be fruitful, and have dominion over the earth. So when did men become soft as fuck? Because that's what God said, but a lot of people don't live up to that. And that's the biggest thing I think they need to hear, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you for saying that, man, because what I'm about to say. All right, if you're listening right now, if you're playing video games, if you're drinking, if you're clubbing, you're smoking, doing all that bullshit, if you're jerking off to porn all the time, you're not going to be successful. I'm just going to be real. It takes a certain level of focus and discipline and self-belief and self-image to even achieve these types of levels, because there's levels to life. That supermodel that you're looking at, she's not going to look your way, bro. I'm just going to be real. Unless you're doing the things necessary that a supermodel would naturally be attracted to. Kind of like you. Your girlfriend's a model, correct?
Yeah.
So, bro, go into like the man you had to become in order to even attract that type of caliber of a woman.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, the biggest thing, if you're at home right now, you're jacking off, you're looking at all these Instagram models, you're saying, hey, yo, what's the right line? What's the right DM to slide in with? It's not about what you say, it's about who you are, right? The moment I was unwilling to settle, I'm not gonna follow a bitch who doesn't follow me back. I'm not gonna leave my seen DM in a bitch's messages. I'm removing that shit. I'm not gonna let a bitch talk shit and go, he DM'd me, he said, hey, look at this. The bitch is getting blocked, right? So I take everything fucking personal, bro, and I went, I'm not gonna become the man that has to chase all these things. I'm gonna build a beautiful garden and self-improve. You know the quote, you can spend your entire life chasing butterflies, or you can build a beautiful garden and they come to you. Now when I leave the house, I mean, my girl's scared that I leave the house. She's like, why are you putting so much cologne on? Why are you wearing that shirt? Your tattoo's showing, wear a dress shirt. So you have to become the prize to a certain degree, right? I know this might piss the females off, the girl. It's just, listen.
It's real.
The man is the one that leads. That's the biggest thing. How are you going to beg some chick, and how is that going to give you a role of leadership? It's just not. Like what fueled me too in the early stages was the rejection. Like a lot of dudes that were willing to accept these things, I just wasn't, bro. Like if I DM'd a bitch, even if I'm a loser, if she left me on scene, bet. And there's self-accountability to it, but I mean, to some degree, there's anger too. And it's just like the only revenge as a man is a wild level of success. There's not a woman on the earth now that's rejected me in the past, that doesn't see my reels every day of me throwing hundreds of thousands down off the penthouse balcony to my girl, seeing me buy her a Urus with diamonds on it and going, fuck, could have been fucking me. I say that to my girl, she gets pissed off. She's like, you shouldn't be saying that. I'm the only girl in your life. But that's how this shit is. You know what I mean? Like you are the prize, and you need to have the assumption that, yeah, I mean, something like that. That girl, yeah, she'd look good next to me. Like I had that assumption. It's funny because when I first took my girl to do like a shoot before I really knew her, it's kind of visualizing. I was like, man, yeah, I got a thing for blondes. I want a Russian model, et cetera. I was like, let me just pay for a shoot because I was doing this car thing. I was like, okay, let me have her on the shoot. Before you knew it, I was practicing success so much. She's like, oh, do you want to hit the gym together? I was like, yeah, let's hit the gym together. Awesome. And then I just had this assumption. I was like, yeah, I mean, she belongs with somebody like me. That's just what it is. And not a lot of men have the balls with that, right? Like, I'll tell you this, if we want to get into like the girl stuff, it's usually the most beautiful women that still have their innocence because men are afraid to approach them. Now, I'm not talking about beautiful in a hoe. I'm talking about like beautiful, feminine women, that don't want to be seen, that aren't loud, that don't really even have opinions, that are just, oh, nice. That cry when they see a fucking puppy.
La La Land.
Yeah, because a lot of dudes are scared of that, right? They're kind of like, oh shit, bro, like, fuck, yo, she looks stunning. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna go up to her, bro, et cetera. Now, I've never been the type of guy to approach girls. I've been the guy that's like, I'm gonna build me and everything's gonna come to me after that. Every single time I tried to chase something, it didn't really work out well. It's the same thing with money too. A lot of guys are chasing money without doing the self-improvement and going, yeah, bro, it doesn't work. No, you didn't work on yourself first, because if you worked on yourself, the money flows to you. The girls will flow to you. Like I've shut that off now. I mean, the best thing I could do in my life is have one woman, because so many hoes follow me and so many hoes like my shit. I love when my girl just blocks all of them. And I'm just like, I can focus now. All right, I'm good. I can work. Because that's a man's weakness too, bro. If you don't got one woman, bro, yo, it's you're always gonna have lust, bro. You're always gonna have lust.
A lot of distraction too.
Yeah. The Bible says that shit, bro. Like a lot of people are on this like lone wolf grinding journey, and there's a time and place for that if you're building. But like after you do become built, a lot of men's biggest downfall is the hoes.
Yeah, bro.
Always is.
King Solomon, bro.
Yeah.
David's son. He had it all, and then women was his downfall.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So something important I want to point out, you have to have self-love too. If you're looking externally for whatever that you want, you're already in chasing frequency. You want to become that, so that automatically your vibration, kind of like what we went over earlier, Vince already became the man that had the Lamborghini, that had the penthouse, that had the woman. So once you go inside and become that person already and internalize that, it'll already come to you. This is the stuff I teach to my clients. And so many people, it goes one ear out the other. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how does that even work? How do I become this person? And it's just automatically going to come to me. Vincent is a living example of that. So that's why I say he's the man that's embodied stepping into the portal. So
Yeah. And if I were to add another piece to that, success comes down to the strength of your assumption. That's the motto of this podcast, right? A lot of people, like I said at the beginning, are choosing the assumption of the man that's not successful. They're choosing the assumption of the man that's struggling. They're choosing the assumption of the man that doesn't get hoes, whatever the case might be. But it's just, how about let's flip that assumption and go, yeah, I'm the man that could have a chick like that. I'm the man that could drive a car like that. I'm the man that could be making that type of money. Because until you switch that, logic is going to block. Logic is going to destroy any signs of success you could possibly have. Have you ever wondered why there's like dumbasses that are rich, bro? Like, have you seen some of these rappers perked out that like just have millions in bags of cash. They're like, I bought this chain, I bought that. Because it's not about intelligence. It's not just about hard work. Behind all of that, they have the assumption, yeah, I'm the rapper that makes a lot of money, right? So why aren't you going, I'm the entrepreneur that makes a lot of money. I'm the businessman that makes money. And if you persist in that, because it's not a one-time thing, your faith is always tested. It's biblical.
Yeah.
When you ask to be that stronger, that higher version of yourself, you're going to get chaos and destruction. And most people, God never gives them the result because you didn't believe in him. As soon as you saw logically, oh, I asked for strength, now my life's falling apart, my girl left, Vince, this, that. Now you lost your faith? Were you really the man that you said you are? Because if you were, no matter what happened, you're the guy that figures it out. You're the guy that solves problems. So the pattern that I've noticed, every single level, there's a new devil. Yep. And that devil is always fucking stronger, bro. I've been hit with every single angle in the book. Knock on wood, I've never fucking failed. Bro, I had my whole sales team left after I bought that hypercar. I had my payment processors get shut down. I had my fulfillment team leave. And I said, there's two ways to look at this. When I sit home at night and I look in the mirror, am I the guy that bought this car and got hit with life? Or am I the motherfucker that owns this car and owns this life and I'm going to solve my problems? That was how I rebuilt sales teams when everything fucking left. Because I had to prove it to myself, and most importantly, I had to prove it to God that I'm going to live up to his word. And this is some faith for you guys as well. It's biblical that God will never give you a challenge or a test that you're incapable of overcoming. You need to have that assumption. And another thing too is you need to have the mental model that all of these challenges, all these trials, all these tribulations are put there to make you a stronger man. And that's the core duty of it. But so many people, if you don't have that, if you don't have faith, what I'm talking about, what is there to life? You're going to want to end your life. You don't want to be here. But if you have the faith, it's like you have a reason for living. And that's what's helped me get to where I'm at. And that'll help everybody watching this, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. So that kind of leads me into my next question, bro. Tomorrow, if you were to wake up, you lost it all. The money, the house, the girl, the cars, all that. What would you do? What would be the first thing that you do to get it all back and some?
The first thing I do is I thank God. I genuinely mean that. I've had times where I've almost lost everything. Like payment processing getting shut down ain't no joke either. And the first thing I would do is thank God, because loss is what taught me detachment. I had the most important thing in my life leave, my dad dying, right, when I was 8 years old, my superhero. But through going through, I guess in pursuit of going through the most traumatic thing that a young kid could go through, I learned the art of detachment. I learned that no matter what God has taken from me, he still loves me, and this is all guidance to reach my higher purpose. So if I lost the cars, if I lost the penthouse, if I lost my girl, let's say I'm in some shitty apartment or in my mom's room, I'd thank God, and I'd analyze. I'd go, why did I fail though? What actually went wrong? I wouldn't blame it on external circumstances. I wouldn't even go, oh, well, the payment process. I'd blame myself and I'd go, why didn't I solve this sooner? Why didn't I foresee this problem and have pre-planned preparation? Same exact thing, girl leaving, right? I wouldn't necessarily be as mad at my girl. I'd go, why did I put enough trust into this person and expect that of them? Which I know, my girl slept on mattresses with me, so people are going to take this out of context. But, I don't expect my girl to leave. But even if I lost the penthouse, I'd just go, why? I'd analyze my mistakes. A lot of people think failure is the end of the world. Like, a loser is more scared of losing everything when they have nothing. When a winner isn't even scared of losing everything and they have everything to lose. Like, that's the biggest shift. So I heard this from a quote. I think it was Myron Golden that said it. And he said, the people who have the most are least afraid of losing it. And the people that have the least are the most afraid of losing it. That's a bar right there. Mm-hmm. So I'm not afraid to fail. Like, a lot of people think it's the end of the world if they fail. Like, honestly, the truth is if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. Imagine if you went into the gym and you never failed a PR. Bro, you don't even know your strength and your limits, right? And if you do fail the PR, you're not going to fucking die. You're going to keep going. So the reason that most men don't want to try now is because there's so many losers online that will sit there and mock somebody trying and failing. And all that is a reflection of their own lack of inaction, right? When a loser sees a winner fall, they mistake that as their rise. And they go, he failed. he lost, he went broke, or this is that. You're seeing it with a lot of the influencers online now that are going broke. A winner doesn't care. I'm like, yo, big dog, hey, good job on fucking trying, bro. You'll bounce back, bro. This is how the winners are texting winners that fail. It's always the losers that have something to say that are going, he went broke, he didn't pay his team, or this, that. Bro, who gives a fuck, right? In business, you're gonna try things, you're gonna fall down, but I mean, you can't be afraid to fail. That's the number one thing that I want people to leave this with. Because yeah, I mean, what happens if I lost a car, a place, a girl? Am I dead? No. Am I still kicking? Yeah. If I'm still kicking, that means God has a purpose for me being here. If he didn't, I promise you'd be wiped out. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I've learned too. I've had times where I've been fucking thrown into the back of police cars. I don't even know why. I've had times where guns are pointed at me. But when I left and went home and I was still alive, I went, shit, well, God wants me here for some fucking reason. When my car has fucking, the back hinge has broken when I'm going 120 miles an hour, my I-8, I'm like, how the fuck did I fucking re-steer the wheel and learn in 2 seconds to put, well, God wants me to be here for some reason. If he didn't, he'd take you out. Your purpose is served, right? So people think failure means death, when in reality, you're going to fail. You're going to fall down. You're going to try things. You're going to lose sometimes, win sometimes. And every single winner has failed 1,000 times more than a loser has failed. And that's why they don't care.
That's real. Like Michael Jordan, he's the amount of shots that he's taken, he's missed more than he's ever made, but he's the greatest of all time.
And I think that goes for every single successful person in every single field. Yeah. Every winner has missed more than the shots that they've made.
Yeah, 100%. Something you brought up, bro, losing and all the hardships that you took and still coming out alive. I myself, dude, this journey of mine has not been easy whatsoever, bro. There's been times where if I've been flat broke and I'm just like, damn, like I'm over here borrowing money, this and that. And just straight up just wanting to off myself because, like I said, I'd rather die than go back to a 9 to 5. I'd rather die than not be who I know I'm meant to be, to be the generational curse breaker, to retire my family, to even bring my wealth past myself, as in helping communities, all these other things. And so I want to say to those out there, like, if you're struggling, like, just keep showing up every single day. Keep showing up every single day. Keep believing in yourself. And the results may not be there immediately, but as long as you hold, like everything we've been talking about, the faith, the conviction, the belief, the systems, the practices, the action. Because action is the antidote. I'll tell you what, dude, anytime I felt depressed, action. Action is the antidote. Momentum is the medicine. Something important that I wanted to point out, because a lot of men are struggling with this, pornography. I remember you saying in a video, saying like, I made a vow to myself to stop watching until I was the one, you know, banging the hot models and stuff like that. Because there's so many men, like, I mean, it's meant to destroy men. It's meant to hold them down. It's meant to distract them. It's meant to take away their life force, because at the end of the day, that's like the most powerful force that we have. So I want you to go deeper into that type of mindset that you had to carry on getting to where you were, because, I mean, once you make that declaration, and then obviously it produced hella results for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, how do I put this in a funny way? It's kind of like when you're operating from a state of desperation, everything looks good. But I mean, if you've done the wrong things before, you know that sometimes bad money isn't worth it like good money is. Sometimes bad pussy isn't worth it like good pussy is, right? But like, a lot of people get this fucked up. A lot of guys, they'll go on Pornhub, they'll look at these absolute whores, right? And I'm not saying that's who they are, but people make their mistakes. And they'll go, bro, fuck, yo, I want to fuck this girl one day. But when you actually reach a state of enlightenment and self-improvement, you realize that not every single girl is worth even having sexual relations with, bro. I'm not somebody that has a huge sexual past. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I banged 1,000 women. I haven't. I've been very selective. But if we were to take it a step back, even towards the pornography, the jacking off, the bullshit, I mean, I had a time where, bro, nonstop jacking off. Every teenager is fucking normal life, right? 3 times a day, 5 times a day. I'm like, yo, fuck, bro. I made a vow. I'm like, I'm going to quit porn. And I'd go, I'm on day 1 of no porn. I'm on day 2. I'm on day 3. By day 14, I'd always fail. Then I'd do it again. And then sometimes I'd make day 30. But I realized that as long as I held the assumption as the guy that watched porn but is withdrawing from it, then I'm always going to go back to it. The moment everything switched for me is when I said, I'm not the man that does this. I'm not the man that's going to watch another man get cheeks, right? I'm the man that's actually going to get the cheeks if I want them, bro.
Yeah.
And then I put all that extra energy in the gym. Every single time I had an urge, I did fucking push-ups, bro. I was like, nah, fuck that. Every time I had an urge, I was working on business, bro. And I let that energy out somewhere else. I put it into my craft of self-improvement, which most men numb and they dull. And I beat that journey, right? I worked hard, et cetera. And I beat the journey, right? And then you realize, like, yeah, I mean, some of these, it's you'd think you'd get a fucking golden award and fucking confetti. And you're like, I mean, it is what it is, right? But I'll tell these guys watching this right now, like, you watching porn isn't the end of the world. Right? Like a lot of people think that if you mess up and you watch porn once, you're done and you're a failure. They think if you miss one day in the gym, you can't get jacked. They think like if you do one wrong thing, that defines you. But no, I mean, like, let's put our energy into things that make us better and not put our energy into things that make us worse. And if you do more good than you do bad, then you're going to grow and succeed. But that was my personal story. I made that contract myself and it was 2 years, 2.5 years. And I lived up to that word, and that's a tough devil, bro.
Yeah.
Because the urges are still there. You're still like, fuck, bro, yo. The fucking wet dreams and bullshit is still there. The guys know this. You wake up, be like, yo, does that fucking, you're Googling, you're like, yo, does that count? Or like,
or even on Instagram, bro, just something like on the explore page, bro.
Yeah.
It's out to get us.
Yeah. But you got to put that energy into your craft, right? If you're not the man right now that's able to attract the woman you want, put that into your craft. And then once you are the man that can have that woman, bro, I mean, you start to realize that as a man, you do have lusts, you do have desires, and that's why God made women for men, one woman for a man, and that's what keeps you focused, bro. So that's the biggest piece of advice I'd tell them.
Yeah, 100%. I want to call it sexual transmutation because it's in Think and Grow Rich. It's literally a superpower. So if you're a guy watching this, and if you're expending your fluids, I would highly suggest retaining, because if you've never actually been on like I guess you want to call it no fap or whatever, it's literally a superpower. It has all the vitamins, minerals that you need. It literally amps up your body for the gym, for creation. And if you're just expending it all the time, and it gives you brain fog. And the reason why I'm talking about this, I don't usually talk about this like on my podcast, but this is such a like detrimental thing to men. Like it's literally destroying masculinity as we know today.
Yeah.
It's killing us off. So I want to kind of send out a message out there to the men watching, like the version of you that's successful. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna be real. They're not watching porn. They're not doing drugs. They may be drinking. I take it to the extreme. I don't even drink, but because I take everything to the extreme, because that's what it takes to become as successful as you want to be. You as a successful man, the vices that you're doing right now, I can guarantee you that successful person is not doing them. And just yesterday, I was at a Miami Dolphins game. I got invited out, got a free ticket or whatever. I was like, you know what, why not? I used to be a big NFL guy. And for those who love sports, like I would encourage you to step out of that if you really, really want success, because a lot of people nowadays, they wear jerseys with another man's name on their back instead of representing their own name and their own wins and their own futures. And it was kind of crazy to me. I was like, because, I just went in my normal clothes. Like, I'm not going to wear no jersey or anything like that representing something unless you own the damn team. But it was mind-blowing to me, dude, like how low the competition is nowadays.
Bro, like I want, this popped up in my head as you were speaking too, bro. I want these young men to understand this. Your value isn't defined by how many hoes you smashed. I'm just going to say that because I used to believe that. I was like, yo, I got to fuck this girl and that girl and et cetera. And it's just, I've watched men absolutely destroy their lives fucking some skank who fucked 50 other dudes. And they got an STD, they got a kid now, they got some bullshit. So if you're over here bragging to your friends, bro, I fucked this girl, I fucked that girl, your mom's still breaking her back slaving. You're not a man. That makes you a bitch, bro. Like that's just what it is. You're focused on the wrong things. There's two types of men in life. Let me see how many hoes I can fuck. And let me see how much money I can get to provide for my entire family. Let me see the impact I can have on the world. I chose the second, bro. I had older brothers, older friends, and I watched all their mistakes. They say, a normal person learns from their own mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And what good has come out of the dudes dead broke working at Cane's that you see that have smashed 1,000 chicks? Well, what's the flex, bro? Hey, I fucked this girl though at a party and that. No, like, and you know it by personality, right? I'm the type of guy, I don't want 10 Camaros. I'd rather have one Lambo and a Ferrari. I don't want fucking 10 normal Lambos. I'd rather have one hypercar. That's the same way I run my relationship life with just one car, but I want one real one. Like, that's my biggest thing. And if I were to give my girl some props too, like, I'm not perfect. My girl's not perfect, right? But if there's somebody that I respect as a woman, bro, it's definitely my girl, bro. Definitely. Because the logic that doesn't even make sense, and my girl sleeping on the mattress with me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, if you're gonna leave, like, leave now, because this fucking show is ending. The amount that it doesn't make sense that my girl stood on her moral compass and principles and didn't do OnlyFans, didn't do all the shit that these young girls are influenced by, bro, amazed me. When the bank account was low, we're on the mattress. I'm like, look, hey, we be laying it down. We could do this, that. No, I'm not doing that. I was like, oh shit, fuck. Like she's really like,
Wow.
I gotta fucking figure this shit out then.
I'm speechless, bro.
And bro, my girl is what keeps my moral compass in check, bro. Like I'm always quick to ask my girl, hey, was that too much, Keziah? Like, did I talk too much shit here? She's like, yeah, but that's a little bit too. One time is cool. And she'll tell me, she'll be like, hey, Vincent, one thing my girl told me that like shifted my mind. This was like a test from last year. Is I'd have all these people making exposed videos about me, and I'd always have a response to them. And my justification was this entertainment. And I'm making diss pieces back at these people, and it's going viral, and it's funny. And she's like, all you're doing is just becoming one of them, right? Now you're not preaching self-improvement. Now you're just a meme troll account, and that's what they want. And I was like, damn, okay, she's right. Like, bro, you don't know how much I hugged my girl, and I was like, damn, she's right. I just let him talk. Let me let him talk a little bit. Once every now and then is cool, but when you make it your whole soul page, then you lose your message of self-improvement. That's what they wanted, is to drag you to a lower vibration. So my girl's taught me a lot of shit, bro, about like moral principles and code. Not because she's wise, not because she's some capable, strong woman, because my girl's extremely feminine and has intuition. And she goes, hey, I just think that you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't ask my girl for any type of advice. When my girl gives me advice, I'm offended. I'm like, saying, don't give me no advice, right? That you're not the business person. But I'll ask my girl for feeling and intuition. How do you feel about this person? How do you feel about what I'm doing right now? Well, what do you think about this guy? I mean, that guy, he's cool, but don't tell him too much. This dude, that. So that's the beauty of having one woman and being interconnected too, is because, the Bible says it's facts, bro. You do start to become one. So you need to be very careful of who you share your sexual energy with. Because for me, bro, it took me a few months to finally, get down and fucking get my girl after a date to come home with me. And I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Few months?
Bro, month, like not like consistent,
Yeah.
but just like, can't keep doing this, right? If we don't come home, but after that, I started to realize that, like, yo, a lot of you guys should be careful about who you're sharing your sexual energy with, because my girl was the opposite, bro. I have messed with hoes before, you know what I mean, and I've watched that change my personality and maybe turn me a little bit more evil. But with my girl, when I got with my girl, when I started sleeping with my girl, bro, it brought some type of light out of me, bro. Like, it brought like the inner, I don't want to say kid, but like the inner positive child. Like, I don't know how to put that, because my girl has such positive energy. Mm-hmm. My girl's just like a beacon of light. You know what I mean? And
I love that.
Not that I'm evil without her, but bro, she keeps me in check, bro. That's the biggest thing, bro. I'm a little bit more dark without her, bro. I'm telling you, yeah.
I love that, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, bro. It's nuts. But so many people online, they try to say, oh, you have OnlyFans, girl. They don't even know the half of the story, bro. My girl ain't doing some bullshit like that, bro.
That's real, bro.
Yeah.
So, Vincent, now that we've kind of like gone past the struggle and all that, and your come up, bro, I kind of want to get into, how's your life now? How is it waking up as Vincent fucking Fischer, like in your penthouse, Scion, what's it got? Rolls Royce, Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, bro, if you want me to be completely honest, it's stressful. It's a lot of stress, right? Because on a surface level, you think it's peace, it's serenity, bro. It's warfare. New hit piece out on me, million views, clips taken out of context. Like I said, payment processors shut down, bullshit. Teams coming, teams going. It's warfare, bro. It's warfare to be where I'm at. So a lot of people think they want all these amazing things that success comes with, but they really aren't able to handle the mental challenges. Sometimes I'm envious when somebody tells me, Vince, I'm worried about my 3K rent. I'm like, fucking 3K? What the fuck you mean 3? I'm like, you got 3K doing 30 days, bro? What the hell? I got 300,000 a month. You know what I mean? Of bills and shit that's doing, people to pay that depend on me and family. And I know it's molding and torturing me into the man that I need to become. And that's my mental model that I've carried with me throughout the entire journey of success. So if you want me to be completely honest about how life is now, I don't have a break to go fucking sit on the balcony and smoke a cigar and look at the city and be in serenity. I don't have a break to watch movies with my girl. I don't have a break to enjoy and drive my cars all the time. I'm always driving somewhere or doing something I need to do. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Because I have had it the other way. You know the funniest thing? You ever been in a GTA server and like you unlock the unlimited money glitch, bro?
Yeah.
So I've had times that are like that too. Like a few months ago, I had a time where I was like, what the fuck? I'm making 100,000 a day. I'm in Dubai. I'm at the highest floor. More money's coming in than I could possibly spend. And it was a saddening feeling. I don't know why. I wasn't conquering. I wasn't growing. Growth can only be found outside the comfort zone. So I did things that would make me uncomfortable and grow. And God gave me challenges that would make me uncomfortable and grow because I asked for the next level. I'm going to increase the ad spend. I'm going to buy more cars. And people think that I buy cars to show people something that I bought this. Because people think I buy cars to market, which is one part, but it's not even that. You don't buy a fucking hypercar to market, bro. I could market with a fucking Huracan. You know what I mean? But it's my own mental battle and challenge of like, I couldn't find anything that would make me seriously uncomfortable outside of buying a hypercar.
Yeah.
And that was what did it for me. And that turned the switch on of who I am now. But when I tell you I was on podcasts, like, life's fucking good and this and that. I had no struggles and challenges. And bro, my soul didn't like that. Bro, I wanted to fucking die. Like, I don't know how to explain that.
I totally know what you mean, bro.
Bro, I don't know how to explain making 100,000 a day, bro. Having your dream girl next to you, your mom retired, able to do anything you want, buy anything you want. I felt so peaceful. I wanted to die, bro. Like, I don't know if you get that.
Okay, I don't get that.
And then I realized that, bro, I wanted to like float away and fucking disintegrate. I wanted to retire, bro. And I realized with my relationship with God, bro, I'm not here to have peace. I'm not here to have fucking serenity. That's just not what I'm here for. I'm here for challenge. I'm here for conquest. I'm here for warfare. And that's what makes my soul want to even be here, bro. I don't know how to explain that to the average person.
I understand, bro. I just got goosebumps. You're a fucking warrior.
Exactly, bro. Now I'm not a boxer, right? I'm not an MMA fighter.
It's in the heart, man.
But yeah, in the heart, that's what I'm here for, bro. That's what I'm here for. And you know, people critique me online and they go, oh, it's stupid that you bought that car though, and it's stupid that you did this and that. How about you focus on your situation? I focus on my thing and we're all happy.
Yeah.
Right? Because yeah, that's been my path. Because the truth is, a lot of people operate out of scarcity, and I just operate out of abundance, bro. My life isn't any different having fucking 3 million in an account versus having 3 million in a car. It just is not. It's not different. I'm still able to eat where I want to eat. I'm still able to pay my bills. Like, but I love fucking conquest, bro. I love putting everything on the line. Not just me. I love putting everything on the line with my boys.
Yeah.
And my team that's behind me. And like, yo, we have to pull this off, Vince. We have to fucking pull. And I'm like, yo, let's fucking do it, bro.
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Hell yeah, bro. I love that. And that's how I know, man, because I want you to tell the audience how old you are.
Yeah, so I'm 22 years old.
And 22 years old with this type of mindset. God, I don't know if you guys heard this. This guy, he said he wanted to float away and disintegrate because he had it all. And the fact that he's not content with what he has now, that's how I know you're gonna surpass so many. You're literally a flag carrier of this generation, bro. And I'm only 24, so I'm only like maybe a year and a half older than you're 22. And the fact that I get to experience this with you and be in your network and be shoulder to shoulder with you, it really brings peace to my heart, and I really appreciate it, bro. Because for the longest time, like going back to our friends, friends back at home, it's like, fuck, like yeah, these guys are my age, but like they're doing the same thing, they're saying the same excuses, and the fact that other men like us exist at this type of age, it just brings me hope. And to those watching, like this is possible for you too. I always tell my clients, if you really want change your environment. Well, change your environment, change your habits, and then change your identity. But the number one thing is change your environment. And that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what you did. And we're literally a product of our own teachings. So Vince, with that being said, man, you built the brand, you built the empire. I want to know what's next for you. Like, what's the next big evolution? What's the next milestone? What's next for Vincent Fischer?
Like I said, I mean, on a physical plane, you know, like I mentioned, the software, obviously growing the coaching business, helping more people, but just growth, bro. Like if I were to summarize it to one thing, it's growth, bro. I know the version of me now isn't the version of me that's at 100M or whatever. And you know, maybe I slipped up on my own affirmation earlier by saying that, but I want to grow, bro. I want to suffer, bro. I want to suffer with challenges.
That's real.
I want to suffer with hardship, and I want to grow, bro. Like that's what makes me feel alive, bro. That's what makes me feel alive. So I think to everybody watching this too, like so many people think that their struggles are the end of the world when their struggles are gifts, bro. Because what else is there to life as a man without struggle?
Yeah, literally.
You're not put here to fucking bounce around at a fucking festival off of a fucking perk, bro. Like, you know, that's not what you're here for, bro. You're put here to become the strongest and most capable version of yourself, to handle all the mental challenges that success comes with, to eventually be a provider for yourself and your family, to have one woman that you lead and guide. And no matter how much people try to distort my image, to take things out of context, I say I'm a living example of somebody that follows religion. Bro, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't party. I rarely gossip. I have one woman. I take care of my mom. I make money serving others. I leave other people in a better spot than when before they met me. And that's what I do, you know? Like, you could paint me as this evil person as much as you want to, but that comes from a lack of self-belief, right? If somebody sees me online, their own inner doubts make them say, I'm looking at something I can't have. And that's where the hatred comes in. Now, if they realize that I could have these same things, maybe he's at another level, but I can have my own battle against myself and eventually get to a level or even past his level, I think they'd stop hating, bro. I think they go, damn, okay, this dude is an icon and a role model. And I genuinely believe to my deepest core that even the pages that make these exposed videos, bro, they don't even hate me because I text them. I'm like, yo, big dog, W roast, bro. Hey, bro, appreciate it, bro. But the people that get emotionally involved are the people that don't have self-belief, and that's what every single prophet in a spiritual book is put here to do, is to give the people belief again, give the people hope again. Because if we were to go back to the analogy of wanting to kill yourself when you're presented with this route of work until you're 65 and retiring with practically nothing, bro, I wanted to kill myself and I didn't have a me. Like it's a blessing that I'm still here and I did find role models along the way. But I want to be that beacon of light and hope that, bro, you don't got to end it all, bro. You don't have to live a life of fucking slavery, right? No, bro, whether you do coaching or not, I'm not even telling you to do coaching. Fucking do software, do something that you want to do, but you can live a life that you enjoy. And depression isn't something outside of you. It's not a mental illness. It's God and the universe telling you that what you're doing right now isn't in alignment with your higher purpose.
Exactly.
So you need to find another purpose, right? Like, not everybody's a coach, bro. Not everybody's a social media influencer. Not everybody's a businessman even. Everybody has their own passions, and you have to follow your heart, bro. Like, I always followed my heart and did what felt right. And so many people try to teach me not to. That's the fucking crazy thing. When I was 16 years old, they told me not to. They said, that's not gonna work, bro. The internet thing's not, but it feels right. I know, it feels right. Then they said, no, this is your path. And then you start to realize that, like, if you don't set out your own dreams, your own goals, your own aspirations and pursue them, then you're going to get hired to build somebody else's.
Yeah.
And the system's going to keep you in that same indoctrination
Mm-hmm.
until they milk every piece of energy and juice out of you that they can get. And then you live a very sad, depressing life, you know? So every single man watching this, bro, follow your purpose, do what makes you feel right. And that's what I'd leave them with, bro.
100%, man. And I want to say, like, everybody has a calling, but are they willing to follow that calling and take the actions necessary and forget about the fears and doubts? That's why when I started this, I told them to leave that shit behind, because we literally stepped in. And that's why I made this podcast, bro, because I want to inspire people. I want to help to show them, like, anything is fucking possible. You just have to have the right mindsets, the right beliefs, the right systems. And this is exactly why I made this podcast, bro. So my last and final question, Vince, it's my personal favorite question. So one day your kids, your future kids and grandchildren are probably going to watch this episode, man. And I just want to know, like, what do you have to say to them so that they too can build and continue their own legacy?
Man, I'd tell them the exact same things that I said. If I were to leave them with one thing, it's that I'm no different than you, right? Like, anything that I've done, you could do as well. And a lot of people have that confused. A lot of people think that other people are more special and more lucky and more this or that. Nah, I mean, it's just belief and self-image. Because I don't know how to put this, right? I could show you videos of me skinny and a loser, but you don't know how to, like, you never seen me off the camera when I was skinny and a loser. Just completely unattractive, bro. Just ugly, broke kid, like probably fucking no hygiene, right? Like, I was a loser, bro. And like, self-belief changed my fucking skin tone. You know what I mean? Like, it changed my damn glow. It changed my inner presence and being. And everybody's capable of the same thing. Nobody's too far gone, bro. Like, everybody can get to a level of every single person you see online, right? I wouldn't even call myself an influencer, but when you see these influencers, these celebrities, these people online, they're no different than you. And as soon as you realize that, that's when life begins. That's what I'd say.
It's perfect, bro. Vince, I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Yes, sir.
It's an absolute pleasure, bro.
Hell yeah.
And those watching, like, really take into consideration everything that was said and keep stepping into the portal. We're going to have some more episodes coming up, and I appreciate you for taking the time to watch. See you on the next one.